Welcome to your Defensive Stopper 30-Day Challenge. In this challenge, you'll develop the tools to become a defensive stopper so that you can shut down players in the full court or half court. Specifically, you'll master the technique of taking charges. You'll enhance your ability to stop penetration, and you'll develop the 5 habits of every good defender. Let's see it. Now we're going to go through 5 habits of good defenders. There are a lot more than just these 5 habits, but if you can develop these 5 and make them habits in your game, you'll be able to impress coaches at nearly any level of play, and you'll be able to help your team and lock down your defender more effectively. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. We're going to take a look at closeouts, followed by, well, let's just start with our closeouts first. I'll take the ball over to the wing, and if Kyle's in a help side defensive position, or maybe he had to come off a single screen or a double screen, so he's a little late in getting there, he's going to need to be able to get out to me and stop the shot from going up and stop the penetration. So the first thing he's going to need to do is get his hand up. He doesn't want to fly by, so he wants to keep his feet on the floor. That's a critical principle. So he keeps his feet on the floor with his hand up, and then he uses those short, choppy steps to help break his speed. He's putting on the brakes. That's the purpose of the short, choppy steps. You always know a good closeout because you can hear a good closeout. So he uses the short, choppy steps with his hand up. So let's go ahead and take that first closeout on the wing. So that's the closeout. We'll have you back up and take it again. Because once he closes out effectively, go ahead and close out. The moment a pass gets made from his player, he's going to have to implement the second good habit of every good defender, which is to jump to ball. Because what he doesn't want to give up is once that pass gets made, he doesn't want to give up a front cut where a player can just cut to the basket for an easy give and go. You see that if you watch 5th and 6th grade players all the time. They make a pass, run to the basket, get the ball back again. That's a sign of a not very effective, not very good defender. So what you see at higher levels of play is the moment the pass gets made, a player jumps to the ball. It's just a really quick 2-foot hop over so that a player can't make a front cut. So I make the pass, he jumps to ball, and he keeps his hands out. So he's still in deny position. He's not going to allow me to cut to the basket. So let's take it one more time. I've got the ball, Kyle. He's just closed out. There's the pass, and I can't go there. So the only thing I can do is now go back door. And he's got his hands prepared, and he's ready to slide with me so that I can't beat him back door either. So you have to make it a habit to not only close out effectively, but as soon as the pass gets made, you have to be able to jump to ball. Once he's jumped to ball, and I've now popped out to the wing, it's critical that he sees the ball, wherever the ball may be. Most players have a habit of just following their man, and they think they're doing just fine as long as their player isn't scoring. But if you're going to be a true team defender, you've always got to be in a position to stop penetration. And in order to stop penetration, you've got to be able to see the ball. My former college coach used to talk about getting your head on a swivel, on a skewer. So your head is constantly turning. So Kyle is in a defensive position, and his head is constantly turning. He can see me if I'm still out on the wing, and I've popped out in the wing, and the ball is the far side. He's seeing the ball. And then he's ready to implement the next good habit of every good defensive player, which is to talk to the ball. He's going to talk to the ball by very simply letting the offensive player know that he's ready to stop penetration. Now, you've heard coaches talk about talking with your teammates, and that's something we won't get into now, but critical as well to communicate on defense. But one of the easiest things you can do is just talk to the ball. What do I mean by talk to the ball? Talk to the player who has the ball, who might be thinking about penetration. And you can do that by simply telling them that you've got help side to the middle, or you've got help side to the baseline. Sure, you're telling your teammates so they know which direction to force penetration, but more importantly, you're talking to the ball, because whoever that ball handler is, penetrators like to penetrate against disorganized defense. And the moment you talk to the ball and tell them, bring them my way, or you let him know, you've got help side middle, well, that penetrator is going to think twice about penetrating down your side of the lane. So you talk to the ball, and in order to talk to the ball, you have to be seeing the ball. You always want to be seeing the ball. In fact, PGC founder Dick DeVenzio said out of a 32-minute game, 31 minutes and 52 seconds, you should have your eyes on the basketball. You always need to see where your player is, but you get that head on the swivel. So you can see the ball, look away, see your player, and look back at the ball, and then talk to the ball. And the fifth and final one is you always want to be in a position to threaten penetration. You have to be in a position to threaten penetration. And to threaten penetration, you're going to get low, and you're very simply going to skirmish. Skirmish, you're going to make a commotion towards the ball when penetration takes place. You make a commotion with your hands and your feet. A sudden, rapid movement of your hands and feet darting towards the penetrator. What does that do? Well, you're making the penetrator uncertain. Are you going to step in and take the charge, or are you going to go back and pick up your check? Whether it's a 2-on-1 and you skirmish against the penetration, or whether it's in the half court and a player starts to penetrate and you skirmish, you're always one step away from taking the charge, and you're one step away from closing out on your check again. So you want to make it a habit of not just seeing the ball, not just talking to the ball, but then skirmishing against penetration. What we're going to have you do right now, Kyle, is we're going to have you go through a repeatable progression, and it's a simple one. You're going to close out on the ball. Once you close out on the ball, you're going to jump to the ball. And coaches, you could do this with partners in practice to work on their defensive positioning, just like a lot of coaches do in a 3-on-3 shell type drill. You can do it with just 2 players. Or you can do it by yourself, Kyle. So here's what it would look like by yourself. You'll close out on the ball, imagining that there's a player on the wing. You'll jump to the ball, imagining they've passed the ball up top. Then you're going to deny the ball all the way to the basket, and imagine that the ball gets swung all the way over to the far side, and you're going to get your head on a swivel, and you're going to be in help side position. Then you're going to talk to the ball, and you're going to say, I've got your help side, or bring a middle, bring a middle. And you'll actually call it out. I know if you were in an empty gym and somebody was to walk by, they'd probably think you were absolutely crazy. But most great defensive players are a little crazy. So you're going to want to develop this habit and add it to your game. And then finally, you're going to end with a skirmish, and then you do it all over again with a closeout, a jump to the ball, seeing the ball, help side, talk to the ball, skirmish. Let's take a look at it. I'll just stand here to be where that offensive player would be. Here we go.
Close up. Jump. Help side, bring my way. Skirmish middle. Close up. Jump ball. Help side, bring my way. Skirmish. Help side.
And stop there. Just one additional reminder, did a great job closing out, great job jumping to ball, and then you slid down and you got in help side position and you saw the ball. Just remember to keep that head on the swivel. Head on the swivel so that you can see me and see the ball, and then you did a great job saying bring them my way. Let's see one final rep.
Close up. Jump ball. Help side, see you. Bring my way. Skirmish.
Well done. If you add those 5 habits to your game, you'll be well on your way to becoming a defensive